Hey guys, John at Shooter's Connection here to talk with you about recoil springs. So we have in front of us here a Masterpiece Arms limited optics gun, as well as a tuning pack from Atlas Gunworks for 5-inch government models, and a pair of Wolf recoil springs as singles. So, main thing we're going to discuss here is about how we make choices with regards to recoil springs. And not just that, but recoil setup. So we have some Illuma buffs here as well as another option for setting up your recoil system. The main thing to remember here when you're playing with your recoil system is reliability comes first. If the system doesn't operate, if it doesn't strip the next round and chamber it correctly every time, then it's not worth trying to chase that little bit of performance there in the lighter weight springs. So the Atlas kit comes with a 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. There are other kits available at different weight ranges, but this is what we're talking about for a 9-miner limited optics gun today. And then like an 8-pound Wolf, there's an 11-pound Wolf, plenty of options. And it's staying in the range of what you think you're going to need, which the Atlas kit does, is going to be crucial. So for 9-miner, between 7 and 11-ish pounds is where you're going to end up. For major, it's a little bit different. For open, it's a little bit different as well. Once again, reliability is key. But when we're playing with our recoil spring setup, it's pretty simple. We're going to field strip the gun, take our spring and guide rod apart. Now we're left with our guide rod and spring separate. We can change out our spring, and we can try Illuma buffs, for example. What these are just pieces of aluminum that are machined to the same right diameter for your guide rod to not interfere with operation. And what these do is they add a dead blow effect to when the slide bottoms out and hits. Here it is compressing the Illuma buff between the slide on one side and the guide rod head on the other, and it softens the blow. Some people don't like them. I am a personal big fan of these. Word to the wise, if you end up using more than one, you might run into reliability issues, as you are shortening the stroke of the pistol by 100 thou, roughly 100 thousandths of an inch every time you add a buff. So we can add a buff, slap the spring back on, where iPro when you do this, compress, and we can retain the guide rod, or if you have a toolless guide rod, just engage that toolless hold and reinstall and shoot. Main thing I'm looking for is I want my bullet holes to be as close together as possible on the vertical axis, because if the muzzle is dipping as the slide closes, if the muzzle dips and it forces the muzzle down at that point, then we might want to go with a lighter spring. Meanwhile, if you're noticing in recoil, slow-mo for your off your smartphone is great for diagnosing this. But if you're noticing that as the slide closes, you are having to muscle the gun down to reacquire the target, that's a sign for a heavier spring. So that's kind of the quick and dirty method for choosing your weight. Once again, reliability being key. So long story short, these are cheap ways to get more performance out of your particular gun with your ammunition and your grip. So don't just take advice as gospel from someone who's got a different grip than you, using different ammo in a different gun. This is a pretty personal thing. You can usually take guidance within that range, but as it applies to what you run, that's going to be a personal decision. So all of the things we discussed here are available here at Shooter's Connection. We try to keep a wide stock of springs because they're sub $10 parts that we can play with to get more performance. So all that being said, I hope you check us out, shootersconnection.com. I've been John Vlieger with you today, and I hope to see you on the range.